Hi, this is Spencer, and you're listening to The Other Show.
Spencer, do you know what is the worst?
I-15 rush hour?
Well, yes, absolutely. But it's specifically when you're driving along on the freeway and you get behind one of those trucks, like specifically one of those dump trucks, right?
Oh, yeah.
And before you can get out from behind that dump truck, one of those rocks from the back of the truck slings up, hits your windshield, and boom, you got a chip, right? I absolutely hate it. Now, if you're like me, you watch that chip gradually grow from a little chip to a whole long crack that just goes along that whole windshield. I hate it. I hate dealing with it. I hate looking at it. It's just such a hassle.
Luckily, you can use our friends at Ashby Agency and Associates. They're backed by American Family Insurance, and they can help you with that crack.
Thank you.
AmFam offers $0 comprehensible deductibles, which means there's no out-of-pocket cost for that windshield. Additionally, you can customize your discount based on how you drive and save as much as 20% on your auto insurance with Drive My Way. And for the most savings, bundle your home or renter's policies with your auto, camper, umbrella, ATV, UTV, motorcycle, boat, snowmobile, business, and even life insurance policies. Let the insurance advisors at Ashby Agency and Associates help you save today.
Call Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 385-383-3117. Again, that's 385-383-3117. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. We're really going to have to work on that last part.
Uh-huh.
So last night at around 11 o'clock, I asked my wife to cut my hair, and she suggested, hey, instead of just shaving it all, because I had a half marathon this morning, and she's like, maybe you'd look cool if you had a mohawk. And so I thought that for a second. I'm like, sure, like go right ahead. And so I kind of outlined it for her a little bit, and then she started shaving it, and she was really kind of struggling with it. And I'm like, what is the matter? Like, she's not a hair person, but her sisters do hair and everything. And I'm like, this should be innate for you. I'm like, how hard is it to shave a head? Anyway, she struggled through it, and I noticed that if I hold my head, the listeners can't see this.
Yeah, right.
But you can see how my mohawk kind of goes a little bit to the right.
Yeah, she's got some Han Solo maneuvers. She just drifts lazily to the right.
But yeah, and she's sitting there, and then like halfway through, she's like, I probably should have told you that I'm on my Ambien right now.
And she has clippers on your head.
And I'm like, this is like a near-death experience.
Wait, why do you always shave your head? Is this always before a run?
I like to shave my head usually, more so during the winter, or sorry, the summer.
Summer makes sense, yeah.
Just because I run a lot, and I have very thick hair, and it just gets annoying. So I usually just shave it. Anyway, yeah, Marianne's like, yeah, do a mohawk. And then even after the race, I'm like, well, I probably should go home and just shave off the rest. And she's like, no, like, you should keep it, because we're going to Bear Lake this weekend. And she's like, you should keep it for Bear Lake and then go to church like that. I'm like, I don't know, what this kink is, but I'll run with it.
It's called Ambien, Josh.
She has like a 1987 like skater punk kink.
Yeah, she must.
But like a Apache head skater punk kink.
And the mohawk that just kind of lists to the right.
Can you stop using that phrase? You're using it like my mother-in-law.
Kink. What, skater punk?
No, and her baby foot fetish.
Oh yeah. Oh hey, Sophie's here. Hey Sophie, how's it going?
Hey guys.
I like that we have like a female laugh and we're like, oh, it's no big deal.
I love how we're starting off with the kinks, and
just get it out of the way. That's all we got to do, right?
It's no surprise. We usually try to scare people away with like the bathroom humor right up front. And we're like, if you're still here, enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, because it's a great show.
Yeah, and we scare them off early, and by the end of the show, we're talking about the North Atlantic Trade Treaty.
Oh, okay. So random.
Or Spencer tries to sell us cowboy boots at the end of every show, Sophie.
That's my kink.
I don't know if you've heard this, but he tries to tell us, yeah, the leather kink. Okay. The leather
Stephanie's in the background here. I feel bad for her.
You're going to have to provide a lot of context for her after you record.
Oh,
Yes, I
please.
am.
Thank you.
I think the mohawk looks great, Josh. I think you're doing just fine. I think she did a great job.
You know, for being on Ambien, she did a great job. And I don't know if I can fix it and feel right about going out in public, you know, for the rest of the week, and especially up to Bear Lake with it going, you know, to the right.
Well, it's like your hair's what, like half an inch long right now?
Yeah.
It's not like it's a dramatic mohawk.
You know what, Josh? That's quite the qualifier, though. For being on Ambien, that's quite the job. Like, I feel like Marianne can do lots of things with that. You know, like crash into a house.
Okay.
For being on Ambien, that's quite the driving job.
Well, yeah, she usually is just a Ambien eater. Like, nothing
What?
is safe. Nothing is
Wait,
safe.
so was this like a daily thing or something that Marianne does?
Yeah,
of Ambien?
For the most part. Just because she has such a hard time falling asleep.
Okay.
And
Josh,
so,
do we need to have a very special episode with Coach Blue for Marianne?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so scared. If you get that reference.
Yes, then you're in the cool kid club.
Josh or Spencer, you don't, I know, because you were a 2000s kid, but it's okay.
You giving me an extra 2 decades there?
Yeah, you're not an 80s kid.
I was born in the 80s.
Okay.
30 days. No, so she has to have Ambien pretty much almost nightly, not always.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing is she's kind of an Ambien snacker.
Yeah.
The second night we were married, you know, we were packing for Disneyland and the honeymoon and everything. And she had taken her Ambien and she was packing. And she hates packing.
Mm-hmm.
But then 2, she was just laying on the bed eating a bag of corn nuts. and I'm like, honey, like, you've got to pack because, you know, we have like a 7 a.m. flight. Like, you're going to be up all night unless she gets, you know, knocked out by the Ambien.
Uh-huh.
But she's just sitting there and I'm like, give me the corn nuts. And she gave me the biggest, like, crusty ever. Like, I was like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I will give this back to you once you finish packing. She's like, fine. And so, you know, about an hour or 2 later or whatever, I come back and I'm like, okay, oh, you're done. Great. Here's the corn nuts back. And she's like, I don't want them. I'm like, why? Oh, because I ate all the bugles.
Wait, hold on. Josh, are we sure, and I know she listens, so no offense to her, Are we sure there's not another substance that she's been partaking of that makes you a little bit more hungry?
I can't say anything on this podcast about that.
I'm now just picturing Marianne on her bed with bugles on her fingers.
Talking about how she's Freddy Krueger.
I think I have a new kink.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's a special sleepover time with Josh.
Here's a question for the Ambien eaters and the people that can't sleep. Are melatonin gummies placebos? That's my question to you. Because I'll give my kids melatonin gummies and they work, right? The ones you get from the grocery store. And then every once in a while when I can't sleep, I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a melatonin gummy. But I don't know if they actually work or if it's just such a small dosage that they work for kids. Right? Like, because obviously, like, Marianne is not taking melatonin gummies, right? Like, she has to go for the Ambien, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a problem. I want to know if it is really just, like, they're like a multivitamin gummy I'm taking, and that's pretty much it.
They've got to be because I eat those things by the fistful.
I think they only work for, like, certain people because it doesn't help me. It doesn't help Melissa.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it depends on the person, to be honest.
Because I give myself a
So,
half hour. I heard that if you're not asleep within the first half hour, then you're awake the rest of the night. Like it's like some free pizza deal or whatever. And
yeah.
so if I'm playing on my phone or watching YouTube for past the half hour, I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm screwed. Now what?
See, and I don't know if this is like, maybe we should have a special episode with Blue, because if the melatonin doesn't work for me, well, I have tried her Ambien once and like, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I usually will just go to like NyQuil.
Oh, yeah.
And that usually will do the trick for me.
Mm-hmm.
I hate taking it when I don't have a cold or whatever, but it works.
Yeah, because it tastes like black licorice and it's the worst.
Oh no, I love black
No,
licorice.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Oof, no.
I put that on my ices.
Ew, gross. NyQuil ices?
What?
Bill Cosby called. Okay.
What?
I said icy, not Jello pudding. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Unless anyone has a story to tell us about Evanston, we can move right along.
That's a
No,
great
I
segue.
think we can move right along. Let's move right along.
My Evanston story is not going to beat the Ambien eating Marianne.
So you're underselling the story so we can move along?
Yeah. No, we can skip right past Evanston. Most people do while driving.
True.
You were so proud.
But what happened to you?
Yeah.
What happened to you in Evanston that you wanted to bring this to the show?
It seems so lame now because I went on a road trip to Evanston to get the pew-pews for Pioneer Day.
Okay.
Right? Like any good Utah does.
Right.
And I brought my brother-in-law and his brother.
We
went to a barbecue place, and I'm pretty sure that it was like, Deliverance. Like,
oh, sure.
It's Evanston.
That's a nice remix of Deliverance, by the way.
What was that?
I was like, bow, chicka, wow, chow, 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 bow. Which maybe it's the same.
Well,
Yeah.
same thing. But no, we were sitting in this place. I'm pretty sure our server had a stroke in the middle of asking for our orders, because we're sitting there like, hey, can we get the brisket and the ribs? No.
What?
We out of ribs. Okay. What meats do you have? Well, we have brisket, chicken, sausage, and we out of ribs.
Let's get that man some Ambien.
No, he's been on Ambien. That's why we're getting this delivery. Okay.
So we get our meats, and then you got to pick your sides.
Yeah.
And one of the sides was barbecue beans.
Sure.
So we asked,
sounds great.
Can we get some barbecue beans? No. We out of beans. We do have cowboy beans. Okay, well, what comes in the cowboy beans? Beans. Yeah, just beans. So we're waiting for our food. It takes forever for us to get our cold barbecue. And my brother-in-law's brother, Jared, takes a look around. You've met Jared, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
He has no filter in not a great way. Sometimes a good way, sometimes a bad way. He looks around. He's like, so I noticed we're like 2 steps away from the KKK in this place. They got the rebel flags all over. And right as he says that, them good old boys starts playing from the radio.
In Evanston, Wyoming.
Are you sure you went to Evanston, Wyoming, and not Alabama?
Honestly.
I'm pretty sure we were in Evanston because we got a lot of fireworks afterwards.
Okay.
Just remember, next time you're in Evanston and you want some barbecue, they out of ribs. And the cowboy beans are just beans.
Are you saying we almost missed out on that story, Spencer?
Yeah. You see why I wanted to skip it now? Like, it's a great opening story,
I'm
but
saying,
follow it up on
we
ambience.
got it. I'm glad we got it because we've been a little giggly, and that brought us to a dead stop.
That's the same exact thing my preschool teacher would tell me. Well, thanks for sharing. Here's your star. Next time we don't need to.
You should have listened to her in the first place.
I'm now going to go to Evanston. I think the last time I went to Evanston, unironically, for fireworks and probably dirty magazines back in 1998. That was probably the last time I went to Evanston. because they had dirty magazines, but they could be dirtier than the ones in Utah. Back when magazines were a thing.
You mean dirtier than the ZCMI catalog?
Basically.
Oh boy.
But let's move on. So Sophie,
Page 76, 1997. Check her out.
I'm really glad that we didn't start with Spencer's story. Sorry, Spencer.
I know.
I'm
That would have
just
been
saying.
great to start and then go to the Mohawk story.
No, the ambient story was great.
So
You build on the stories. You start with my lame bean story and then go to the Ambien.
But I'm just trying to think of the moral of the story. Is the moral of the story just don't go to Evanston if you want beans?
No, the moral of the story is don't trust Google reviews.
you didn't bring up Google reviews once, did you?
Nope.
Did you bring up Google?
You never even brought it up.
Hold on.
You never brought that
There's
up.
a hidden meaning in this twisted story. Hold on. Let's pause on Spencer's story. Don't trust Google reviews. I never brought it up once. Did the guy have a stroke, or was that just a commentary you wanted to make about his slow speech?
No, it was a lady.
Oh, what?
I think you just changed the story on us.
You never once mentioned that it was a lady.
Yeah,
I
you
just said
never
the
mentioned
server.
that.
I didn't want you to assume the gender.
My fault. My fault. But you also said this. Beans? We don't got no beans. And she sounded like that? Her sounded
Yes.
like that?
She could have been Large Marge.
Look, exactly. You can contact Rick or Jared, and they will back me up. That is what she sounded like.
And then will they go on for about 10 or 15 minutes about not getting beans in Evanston?
No.
Okay. What star rating did this place have? That's an important part of the story. And then what would you give it?
4.5.
Oh, that's pretty high. What would you give it?
Exactly.
Well, don't say exactly like you told that initially. And out of 5, what would you give this place?
A 1.
Oh,
They have no
what?
beans.
I want you to write a Google review with just that. And then we need screenshots.
Yes, please. That's fantastic.
We'll see. How about, hey, fireworks 50% off for the 24th? You're coming with me next year, Kenny.
I will go just to go to this 4.5 star restaurant, honestly.
Count me in.
All right.
Okay, Josh, you're coming too. Sophie, if you want to meet us, I know it's a drive.
Oh, yeah.
Just
let me know.
Evanston, Wyoming.
Just let me know.
Yeah, destination
Just let
place
me
right
know.
there. Okay, so Sophie, we do have you here for a reason. It's not just so we can all laugh at each other and mock each other. So we talked about this last week on the show where, we've kind of just been briefly talking about the strikes, though we try not to get into it too much because it gets a little boring and tedious. But I think the interesting part is how it's affected, how it will affect entertainment next year, but what it's affecting right now. And so we talked a little bit about Comic-Con. Well, you went to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Like, when did
I
you
sure did.
when did you get back?
I only went Thursday and Friday.
Okay. And it goes for what, like 4 days?
Yeah, it goes Thursday to Sunday.
Okay.
Well, technically Wednesday night because they have a preview night Wednesday night, and then it goes through Sunday.
Have you ever gone like all 5 days, or is that just too much?
The most I've probably gone is 3 days,
Okay.
but I feel like that's a lot for me, so that's why I only do really 2 days.
And you're pretty hardcore. It's not like you get overwhelmed by people or everything, and you're a geek, as we all know.
Yeah.
But 3 days is like the right amount to go. Maybe two.
I think 2 is like honestly perfect because
Okay.
there's usually a lot going on, and there's like 2 days you go.
Yeah.
So
Well, and how many times have you been to Comic-Con total? San Diego.
I've been going ever since I went when I was younger, when it was nothing. It was so small. And so basically ever since I moved back from Salt Lake, I've been going basically every year.
Wow.
When did it explode into what it is now?
I'm honestly going to say probably like early 2000s.
Okay.
I'm going to say that.
Wasn't it? I think it
But-
was right around mid 2000s or something. And this is, I don't know, but I remember hearing about it a lot when Lost premiered.
Oh,
And
Mm-hmm.
and that was maybe 2004, 2006 era.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like all of a sudden the Lost cast went and obviously Lost blew up as a show, and they had a panel pretty early on in that
Yeah.
show's run where the audience is in Hall H, and Hall H is the major. I've never been, so I'm just guessing a lot of this, Sophie. So please correct me.
Yeah.
But is like a convention hall room?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Hall H. So Hall H is where all the big, like the big films, the big TV shows. That's where they have all their panels. So obviously Marvel and DC. That's where all of their stuff is held, and that's usually like typically it'd be like every Saturday they hold all those for Marvel and DC at the con. So
yeah.
And so how many people does it hold? And like, how hard is it to get into these the big presentations? Because I know they show trailers and they have like the A-list cast generally come out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I'm not gonna say and estimate it, but it's flipping huge. I mean, it's ginormous. It's to the point where you have to stand in line, like literally probably for hours to get in. Because typically when I've gone in, I've had to wait like a couple hours for a panel. And usually what you want to do is stay in that room for like the remainder of the day.
Oh,
so if you want to see any other, you can stay. Yeah.
And that's not unfair or anything, right? Like it's...
No.
They're not like, hey, there are people waiting outside. You already saw the cool stuff. Let other people have a chance.
Yeah. So, and they also give you like passes too. So like if you want to take a break and leave, they give you like a pass to come back.
That's what I was wondering. Bathroom breaks and food and all that kind of stuff.
Do you get to like set up like a camp, like in the chair? Like you get your Beanie Babies and
like
everything.
Like a pillow fort?
And you just kind of nestle. Yeah, like a pillow.
In the line, yes.
Like,
yes.
But like in the theaters and the halls and everything.
You can't do that. But usually like in the line, like legit people will camp out.
Wow.
For certain panels. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And so if you're determined, you can make it happen. If you're determined to see, let's say Marvel's announcing their next lineup, you can wait 6 to 8 hours, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
And then
Some
get in.
Some people will wait like overnight. Oh yeah.
It's like a parade in Utah.
Yeah. It's not. It's seriously like that because like people want to see who they want to see. I remember when Supernatural was a huge thing, and I tried getting into that, and that was like there was just no way I was getting into that one because it was just insane.
Supernatural is interesting. I learned that only recently are they allowing the cast to go off and do their own thing because they've always had Supernatural cons. Like there's been, and we can talk about this maybe a little bit in a few minutes or now, but there's been so many offshoots of these cons, not just like different cities having their own, but there's been specific fan conventions, kind of like a Trekkie Con, basically back in the day. But Supernatural's been doing their own thing for years and years.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably pretty rare to see those guys.
I mean, they do their separate thing and they go do their own things. I know that Jared Padalecki, I saw that he's going to be up, I think at FanX.
I think so. Yeah.
Is he still going to be there?
If allowed, we'll see.
Is who going to be there?
We don't know if anyone will be there based on...
I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there at my Disneyland trivia panel.
Thank you, Josh.
Alongside with my friends, John Smith, everybody else.
What are their names?
I just wanted to drop names.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
With the SAG-AFTRA strike and the Writers Guild strike, they can't promote their products or what things they're doing currently. So that a lot of celebrities or stars or actors are pulling out of these conventions because there are strict guidelines they have to follow. Otherwise, they break union policy and they can incur giant fines.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Because every year I go to the Her Universe fashion show. And
tell us what that is.
So there's a geek line, nerd line for men and women, and it's called Her Universe. Well, it's Her Universe, Our Universe.
Okay.
And it's ran by Ashley Eckstein, who voices Ahsoka Tano in Clone Wars and in Rebels, and she puts on this extravagant, huge fashion show for people who want to like make their own like outfits, geek couture basically. And then if they win, then they get to do a line with Her Universe. So
cool.
This year she was about to cancel it because she wanted to make sure it was in line with everything going on. So they weren't fined for it. So they were able to do it regardless of everything that's been going on.
So she could promote that because it wasn't based on a television or movie production, wasn't using writers or anything. It was just her business of sorts.
Yes. Correct.
But also the fans love it, so it's part of the show now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did get to go to that this year, because I want to hear about what happened this year, because we talked a couple weeks ago about how it's just a writer's strike and actors could show up, but then as of last week the actors joined, and now it's who's at Comic-Con? Comic artists? That's really like, what was your experience walking in Thursday when you did? Were there less people? Was it the same kind of crowd? What was the general vibe of the whole place? A lot of questions, I know. Just kind of go.
No, it's totally fine. Yeah. It was definitely still busy because obviously people love getting, their merch, and they love, going around and seeing what's going on the floor, because it's always exciting on the floor, right? They have the Star Wars pavilion, which like has a bunch of Star Wars merchandise, and then they were like showing a bunch of Ahsoka stuff because, that will be coming out next month. And and then you got Artist Alley. So, I have a couple of friends that are artists. So there's that going on. So, I mean, it was still business as usual, but it just wasn't, like the usual of, the big lines in Hall H. I mean, there was still stuff going on in Hall H, but it wasn't like extravagant like it usually is.
Like what kind of things were going on in Hall H?
I think there were like panels that were like talking about shows and like talking about Star Wars and talking about certain things, but not like the stars coming out to do reveals or like, trailers or anything like that.
Okay.
It was just,
there was no rock telling us the hierarchy of power of the universe is going to change.
Right. Yeah.
Was there a Disneyland trivia panel?
I'm going to say no to that.
They're missing out. Only at FanX in Salt Lake City.
What's funny is they're like, just travel 45 minutes and you can actually go to Disneyland.
Right? Yeah.
That's a novel idea.
Yes.
Yeah, because like the fact that you're saying like you're not really sure what was in Hall H, because it seems like there was no major draw this time around, right? Because even last year, didn't you go to Hall H?
Oh yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and what did you see like last year? Like, were there any highlights?
So the one, because, I always look at the, what's going on over there, obviously every year, just to see like what I'm going to stand in line for, because that's like the highlight is going into panels, right? So one of them, I got to see Keanu Reeves because he was promoting Berserker, which is like a comic book that he's actually helping with, and he's like basically starring in. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to
see him in person.
And oh yeah, I lost my line. I lost my mind.
Isn't it funny that like I don't know if any of us, well, you guys tell me, if like celebrity is all that major anymore, because they're just people and honestly probably narcissists. But there's something about Keanu Reeves. I would love to see the guy in person.
Oh, he's so cool.
Just because he seems like not just a person, but he's the best of us.
Yes.
And he's the type of guy that would snap if you ever did anything with his dog. I'm just saying.
I mean, I wouldn't try it. I wouldn't try it.
No.
Does Keanu Reeves actually have a dog?
He might be a cat person.
I know Henry Cavill has a dog. These are the hard-hitting questions on the other show.
I can't see him being a cat person. There's no way. I'd be like...
Okay, Sophie, I have an assignment for you next year. If Keanu Reeves is there next year or any con that you attend, you must get into a Q&A with him and ask if he has a dog or if he's a cat person. Because it changes things.
Even if he has a cat, he can't say he has a cat just based on the legacy he has now.
No. That cat is invisible.
According to Google, I have a Keanu Reeves dog update.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves, unfortunately, does not have a dog.
Oh, well, wait, was it killed? Or
no?
Can he not have a cat or a dog in his apartment complex?
It just got into some chocolate. Nothing too dramatic.
What?
No, then he's going after Hershey's. While John Wick is going to Hershey's.
I would actually pay to see that movie.
I mean,
like Keanu Reeves and like Willy Wonka go to battle.
Oh, you just spoke that into the universe.
I know I did. And all right, writers, I know you're not doing anything.
Yeah, no, sorry. John Wick against Willy Wonka. It's fine.
Actually, I would love to see that.
Yeah, me too.
If Men in Black and 21 Jump Street can almost have a crossover, why can't John Wick and Wonka?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, so then it seems like a hard couple years for Comic-Con itself, though, because obviously with pandemic, things just shut down for what, 2 years almost? Was it one or
Yeah,
two that
it was 2 years because
they
it
did
was
virtual,
2020 and
maybe?
2021.
Okay.
No, I think they did virtual 2021. I don't know about
Okay.
2020.
Yeah, maybe they
But
weren't ready for it or whatnot.
They were still trying to figure out Zoom.
Yeah,
Well, and
we all were.
correct me if I'm wrong, Sophie. I feel like ever since the pandemic, a lot of the major studios like Disney, Warner Brothers, etc., have kind of realized it's easier for them just to do digital events of their own rather than go to Hall H or rather than go to San Diego.
well, like DC and Marvel, that's like one of the biggest pulls
Mhm.
at San Diego Comic-Con, though. I mean, it was huge last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they were promoting like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and obviously they were doing like Black Adam.
The Rock was there, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, I mean, it was huge last year. And obviously I didn't go Saturday last year because I was kind of like, meh. Like, I mean, I really enjoyed the panels
Mhm.
I went to when I was in Hall H the Thursday and Friday I went. So I was cool with missing those because I'm like not big on DC, but
I would argue for the side of Comic-Con having those again or having the studios go back because for some reason I always waited for this weekend in July for the past decade because that's when, for example, back in 2013, that's when they announced there'd be a Batman Superman movie and the crowd goes crazy, right?
yeah,
They announced every single phase of lineup for Marvel, right? With the cast coming out too. They seem like a
hmm
big deal and it seems genuine. Whereas when they do like D23 and they go, "Oh, Black Panther 2. Oh, here's another Disney Plus show." It feels mass produced by a company.
yeah,
And I don't appreciate it as much and also it feels more exclusive rather than inclusive to all fans.
yeah.
And maybe that's just me. Maybe I just want to have one show have it all, right? Whether
Well,
it's
and you did hear that like they're going to be cutting back and not like releasing a bunch of stuff anymore like they have been like for the past few years.
who's that, Disney or is that Comic-Con?
Yeah, well, with Disney basically cuz I guess like Iger came out and just said they're going to be like cutting back on releasing so much all at once and
Oh,
focusing more on certain shows.
do you believe him? We've talked a little bit about this before.
I mean, it would be in their best interest because I mean they're losing a lot of money as of late.
Yeah, and they need
Because I
to
mean,
cut billions and billions.
yeah, and a lot of their shows aren't like doing well. Like I heard that Guardians of the Galaxy didn't do great.
No, it made money.
Um,
That's probably the lone
I mean,
exception
it
this
made
year,
money, but
but
it
not
didn't
what they
make
wanted.
as much. I mean, Quantumania that didn't do
Nope.
great. I mean, I mean they're making money, but it's not as big as they have in the past. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's kind of like
I mean,
Marvel.
it's an Ant-Man movie.
Mhm. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, truth be told, like all the we've talked about flops for past couple months now. Recently, we saw Barbie and Oppenheimer make a lot of money, and they're not well currently franchise movies. Barbie will be now with what it made, but those are the two biggest successes of the summer outside of Super Mario Brothers. Because Indiana
Yeah,
Jones is on pace to lose $200 to $300 million,
yeah.
right?
Did you hear that Oppenheimer made $5 million extra from box office because Barbie was sold out?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because,
What?
but how funny that they're like, "Hey kids, let's go see Barbie." Ah, it's sold out. Well, here's a science-y movie with some nudity.
I hear it's educational.
Yeah. Listen, they got a better movie for it, but it's not what they wanted.
Right.
Here's the thing.
That's pretty awesome.
Studios are going to learn the wrong lesson from Barbie and an Oppenheimer.
Okay, what do you mean?
Just like with the MCU, where studios saw the MCU doing well. Oh, movie theaters moviegoers really, really want to see connected universes. We're going to make everything connected. Or after
Mhm.
Jurassic Park. Oh, the CG thing's the next big thing. We're going to make everything heavy on CGI. They're going to
Right.
look at Barbie and they're going to pull the story away from Barbie. Not the fact that it's a well-written, I don't know, I haven't seen this, but a well-written and well-received movie or an original story. They're going to say, oh, this movie, based on a toy that's nostalgic, made a bunch of movie. Let's roll out Connect 4. Let's roll out the next nostalgic movie. Again, they're just going to be making... Mattel already has plans for other movies based on their toy lines. And I'm not talking about like G.I. Joe.
I mean,
They better have Rainbow Bright.
I will see Rainbow Bright.
Rainbow
And
Bright?
Strawberry Shortcake.
Yes,
No, and
please.
Right.
I mean, Spencer, you're not wrong because the two biggest movies this year will be two brands that were popular for people that are now in their 30s, right? With Super Mario Brothers and Barbie. That's what these studios will see and go, okay, what's next? How do we throw in enough Easter eggs, but maybe also some good enough writing, right, to sell these tickets?
Well, they've already announced they're making a Hot Wheels movie.
With J.J. Abrams directing, right?
Lens flare.
Yeah.
Look, we've already seen a better version of the Hot Wheels movie when the Wachowskis made Speed Racer.
Yeah.
I want the Wuzzles.
Are those the glow bugs? Are Wuzzles the glow bugs? Or is that just glow bugs?
They're like animals, like elephant. There's an elephant, a lion.
Are they related to the Popples?
Like a lion, kind of like a cross. What is it? There's a hippo and I think like a rabbit.
Wait, what about the Popples? Remember the
Yeah, that's what I'm
Popples when we
saying.
were
Yeah,
kids?
the Popples that they could go
yeah,
inside
there's the
out.
Popples.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
that's what I want.
Yeah,
Okay,
that-
here are the
Come on,
movies.
speaking it into the universe.
I'm going to go through these real quick. The movies announced by Mattel and who's
Okay.
directing them.
All right.
First off is Lena Dunham is directing a Polly Pockets movie with Lily Collins.
Oh.
They're also making Uno a heist movie with Little Yachty.
Uno?
Uno, like cards Uno?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
They're all,
So
we
it's
all
like, sir,
yeah.
sir, you're arrested. And then it's like you throw in the Uno reverse.
Uno reverse.
You're
Yeah,
arrested.
like that.
Okay.
We've got the Barney movie. We've all heard about that one, the A24 one.
Yeah, it's gonna be really trippy.
Well, A24 type Get
Yeah,
Out.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, it's not for kids.
What?
Yeah, it's Barney.
Like-
It's directed by the guy who starred in Get Out. His name is failing me right now, and it's meant to be a very trippy movie, like purposely messed up movie. Barney.
Oh.
Well, kind of like Barbie. You're like,
Okay.
Barbie's not made for little girls. It's made for people that
No.
liked it 20 years ago.
Well, and here's the thing that the lesson that the studio's learning is we're going to make R-rated or hard PG-13 movies from our toys. I mean, it says right here, Magic 8 Ball is getting one, and the film division head Robbie Brenner has said that the movie will be rated R.
Yes. Ask again later. That's going to be the sequel.
He-Man's getting a reboot. We know that J.J. Abrams getting the Hot Wheels.
Yeah, Netflix actually, they canceled their He-Man movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because they're trying to basically every studio wants to make these movies, right? But they're all losing money, and so they used to just spend $200 million on each, and now they can't do that, or they may not get permission because they're not making the money back. And that's Warner Brothers. I don't know about Universal how they're doing, but that's Warner Brothers, Disney, and Netflix at this point. Because Sophie, I'm assuming you're gonna go back to Comic-Con next year, right?
Oh, hands down.
I'll be there, just letting you know.
Yeah.
I was meant to come this year, but didn't really work out. And to be honest, like other than seeing you and hanging out, I don't know if I would have been too jazzed to have that be my first experience to kind of go, oh, no real Hall H. I would have collected some cool art, maybe some figurines, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping and assuming that next year it will kind of be back to normal, right? I mean, we're guessing here, right?
I am assuming so. I'm going to assume here. But
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you think we'll have a bigger one because of the backlog of
Well, will there be? I mean, is that when DC goes, look, we're resetting everything with Superman Legacy, and so we're going to kick everything off that way instead of doing another fandom, which I don't think are very successful,
I like them.
right? Like, I
Yeah.
almost feel like they have to. I think Star Wars needs a bigger kickoff than just D23 or a Star Wars Celebration. And that's another convention, by the way, right, Soph? Like,
Star Wars Celebration? Yeah.
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 Have you been to one of those?
I've been to 4.
Oh, no big deal. You've been to 4.
No big deal.
So how does Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, compare to like the Star Wars celebrations?
Well, obviously everything's centered around Star Wars. So you're getting more content of Star Wars and you're getting more panels about Star Wars. I personally love it more because since I'm such a Star Wars nerd, I tend to like if I'm able to go to a celebration, I prefer to go to a celebration over
Mhm.
Comic-Con, but I mean, I still go to Comic-Con every year because it's just fun to go. But
The merit, I think, obviously everyone at Star Wars Celebration has traveled for it. They're already super fans. They're going to see the movies or watch the shows. I think Comic-Con does help build that word of mouth. That it's like the regular people that may not be into Star Wars, all of a sudden they see a trailer for the new Rey movie that they're planning, and they go, you know what? I wasn't going to give it a chance, but I was there for the day, and they show me something cool. I'm going to go see it. I think there's a reason to have both.
Yeah.
Like the specific conventions and then the overall huge one. And mostly I say that because I don't really want it to die. And that's kind of what like the past couple of years have been, including this year. It's cool. It's going back to like the comic artists and the comic writers, but
I like that.
I also want it to be a big deal as well. Still.
Yeah.
Well, were there any major announcements that came out this year?
Honestly, I mean, I didn't hear of a whole lot when I was there, so I like even like trailers. Like you didn't see any really trailers come out or anything. I mean, you know, I did see that they were advertising for Invincible 2, which, you know, season 2, which, you know, Spencer and I love that show. So like we, you know, I was excited about that. But like,
yeah, not only were they promoting that, they have Robert Kirkman there promoting it, but they announced that they released the first special that same night. So that's out and you can watch it.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
It was a big TV weekend for nerds, aside from Comic-Con, because you had that one. And then, Soph, I don't know if you watch Star Trek at all.
No, I don't.
No. Oh, man. Kent,
you're not missing much.
I'm not really a Trekkie. I'm more.
That's
I'm
okay. That's okay, because there was a major
Yeah.
crossover this weekend between the two Star Trek shows that are running concurrently. You have Strange New Worlds with Anson Mount, which is a pre-Kirk Star Trek. And then you have Lower Decks, which is a cartoon show that leans more into the humor side of Star Trek. And those two crossed over this weekend.
Like, do they have characters play the cartoon characters?
Yeah, so...
Is that what they did?
They pulled the cartoon characters into live action. And they've said when they did Lower Decks that they specifically tried to make the characters look like the voice actor. So it worked out really well.
Okay.
But if you're a fan of Jack Quaid...
All I'm thinking about right now is Evanston and beans.
Yeah. If you're a fan of Jack Quaid, this is totally worth checking out. He does a fantastic job jumping from the cartoon world to the physical realm. And then the last big, like, kind of nerdy TV thing is Futurama's back, baby. After, like, another 10-year hiatus from being canceled.
Oh, wow. Futurama.
That show is so weird, right? Because it was here for, like, 4 years. And then it was gone for 10. Here for maybe 2 seasons or a couple movies, and then gone for 10. And now is it Hulu that's brought it back?
So the whole history here is actually kind of fun because they were on Fox for a few seasons. They got canceled, and Comedy Central started running reruns, realized it was super, super popular in reruns, so they produced a few seasons, canceled it. They did a few movies, and those movies got really popular, so Fox picked it up for another 2 seasons, then canceled it. And then Hulu's been streaming it for the past couple of years, realized this has a huge audience. We're going to produce one more season.
Oh, it's only 1 season to go.
So far.
Okay.
So far.
Oh.
And then it'll be gone for another 10 years and then come back.
I've said goodbye. They make fun of it, the fact that they've been canceled and come back all the time in the first episode.
And it's great?
So,
are you enjoying it?
They've only released the first episode, and it feels like Futurama is the same exact one it was when it first started.
Okay.
So
Crazy.
if you enjoyed Futurama, you're going to love this one. The voice actors do sound notably older. I mean, it's been 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, not actually 30, but like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
But the humor is still just as sharp. And they point out the fact, like, yeah, we've been canceled and we're back. We've been canceled again and we'll come back. Fry makes that a joke when he's at this congressional hearing about streaming. He says, any streaming show should be canceled at least twice and then come back and then be canceled and then only produce 10 episodes at a time, as is right.
It's pretty clever.
So if you enjoyed Futurama and you thought it was good the first time around, you'll like it this time around.
So it's a good nerdy week for TV shows.
Apparently only really nerdy people like me, though.
Yeah, even Sophie's like, Spencer, I can't follow you here.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, and I don't want to like belabor the point. We've talked a lot about it, but we ask this question a lot, especially about Disneyland. But what kind of food do they have at the convention center? And do you eat there or do you leave to eat?
There's a lot of great things around that are just like walking distance. So
Okay.
I mean, obviously there's not going to be really a lot of great stuff like at the convention. It's just
Mhm.
basically like, nachos and
Like
other
this,
crap like
like the stadium nachos, where it's just like that crappy cheese and then some some of the tortilla.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Those need to go
Like
away.
hot dogs and I believe and yeah, it's nothing great. So like that's why I kind of venture off because you're right near Seaport Village, which is right near the convention center and there's so much great food there. So I just
I
venture
feel
on over
like
there.
that's a huge missed opportunity for studios. Like, there should be a bear booth that has like fine cuisine from the show,
That'd be pretty cool.
or like it's a huge missed opportunity. Maybe that's what I'll do next year.
There you go. That's your calling, Spencer.
I'll set up a booth and cook food.
Are you gonna do a food truck or a booth, Spencer?
With beans.
Yeah, make sure you have beans, not just cowboy beans,
Yeah.
which are just beans.
Just beans.
I'm actually gonna have 50 variety of beans, and if anybody asks what's in them, I'm gonna just say beans.
Beans.
Beans. And they'll
That's
be like,
how large Marge sounds.
"Are you male or female?" Beans.
Bean.
And then you can ask them if they want some Ambien with their beans.
Yeah.
That's already in there.
Yeah.
Those are just special beans.
The NyQuil Ices.
That's a different booth, Kent.
All right. So, do you guys have any more questions for Sophie before we let her go and escape from us?
Escape from you guys.
Right.
No, but I think that we should hire her as our correspondent.
When you say hire,
Mhm.
Sophie, our budget's not huge.
We don't make money.
You may
We'll
want to go on
promise-
strike at some point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll promise you the world and deliver nothing.
I mean, maybe we'll get you a backpack.
And how about like backpack? Yes, backpack would be great.
Like what
Please,
kind of
I'm
backpack?
down.
Like one of the drawstrings backpack, or are we talking like lounge fly?
I'm talking about like a lounge fly backpack.
Oh, that's like a
Okay.
bonus
Let's
if you
go-
do
let's-
really well.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
different tastes.
Yes.
We'll need you to pay your own way, though.
For now.
I mean,
And look, I mean, like, here's the thing, and you do what you will, you live your life, but also if like WonderCon happens again, right? If things kind of get back to normal, yeah, you should go, or maybe I should go too, just because I had a chance to go to Comic-Con this year, wasn't able to do it, so now I'm feeling like the bug to go to something major, and I just hope they do it again.
oh yeah.
And I don't know if FanX is really gonna, appease that. So
Except for
Yeah.
the Disneyland trivia panel.
there we go.
I mean, that's going to be the highlight, right, Josh?
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
bring that up one more time,
Yeah.
I might actually go to Comic-Con for the first time.
There you go. And you should, just for the panel.
But only if they serve beans.
No, you don't want to serve beans at a comic convention.
That's
Oh,
actually probably a
no.
good point.
No.
Maybe some like Axe body spray.
Yeah. Maybe that's how
Mixers.
I'll get to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I'll like just get a part-time job just for that weekend with Axe, and I'll just hand out free samples.
It could work.
Yeah.
Or you know what? You could volunteer at the con because
No, I
then
wanna
you get
get
free
paid.
passes to go.
I want to get
Okay.
paid.
They'll pay you an exposure, Josh.
Yes.
No, he
Good
had
enough
plenty
for
of
me.
exposure at last year's FanX. We don't need to talk about that.
You can do a like a panel
True.
down here for Disneyland tips.
Hey.
Listen,
one.
hey, we're gonna bring in this dude who born and raised in Bountiful, Utah, to tell us about Disney. No, just kidding, Josh. I know you know your stuff. I'm just teasing.
But, yeah, I'm like with you, Kenny.
No, here's the thing with like Disneyland trivia. Nobody fact checks it.
Yeah, right.
It's true.
You could honestly get up there and be like, here's an interesting bit of trivia. They keep live alligators in the Peter Pan ride to deal with children that fall off. And like every Disney adult's gonna be like, yep, that sounds right. Magic's alive. Yep.
Hey guys, I have an insider that told me that there's alligators in the Peter Pan ride. Yeah, We could fool everyone.
Just watch, Kent. This is going to be on BuzzFeed next week.
Yeah, truly. Or other places. Anyways, okay.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Sophie, thank you again. We really appreciate you joining us.
Of course, anytime.
You want to be on the show again? Because you should be on the show again.
Oh, I love hanging out with you guys.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah, anytime.
Yay.
Anytime.
Okay. Yeah. Yay. And Spencer has more stories about Idaho and Evanston, I'm sure.
I'm going to the rodeo this weekend.
It's just about beans.
Oh boy.
Hey, if you go to Demolition Derby again, can I come?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Father's Day weekend every year.
Really?
So you can go straight from Preston, Idaho, down to San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 parallel worlds.
You joke, Josh, but I legit might be doing that.
Oh my.
You live your life, Spencer, and you live it well.
I will.
You live your life.
Beans.
1 mile per
All right.
gallon at a time.
Wow.
Beans.
All right, Josh, take us out.
The Other Show with Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. Produced by Kent Dunn, Josh Hansen, and Spencer Myers. Show design and auto editing by me, Josh Hansen. Sales manager, Spencer Myers. Please rate, review, and subscribe to The Other Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are found. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. To better connect with us, join our Facebook group, The Other Group. For past episodes, links to our other shows, and to shop for show swag, visit www.theother.show. And remember, when you're not listening to me here, you can listen to me on my other show, The Party in the Back.
You can also hear me on my other show, Bacon Cell.
I don't got no other show.